RBT family, what is the deal? It's your dog Willie Jack, and we are back, baby, back with more NFL action. I tell y'all what, I don't know about you and yours. I don't know about you and yours, but it's Victory Wednesday for your dog, man. It's Victory Wednesday for your dog. The good guys got it done. Went to Ireland, came back with the dub. All is well, and still a Nate. Well, you know what? I ain't gonna say all is well. But it feels good right now because it's Victory Wednesday. Do you feel me? Now, y'all go ahead, get settled in, trickle on in. Hit me in the chat. Y'all know what's going on. Tap in with three amigos. Like, share, subscribe. All the huge, right? All the huge. Then drop something in the chat. Say what's up to you, dog. And matter of fact, y'all know what's going on. Let me go ahead and get myself, make sure I'm situated. Make sure that we are firing on all cylinders. But yeah, for sure. And as a matter of fact, while everybody gets in here, gets real comfortable, drop in the chat. Let me know. Did your team win? Did your team lose? There's a lot of storylines from this past week as well. We are officially past the quarter mark of this 2025 NFL season. And I tell you what, man, now that I just said that out loud, man, it's moving kind of quick, ain't it? It's already a quarter of the way through. We 4 weeks in. We a quarter of the way through the season, man. And so now I think it's a good barometer, right? I think this is the first real barometer of where, kind of getting an idea of how things are kind of shaping up. The cream is starting to separate itself from the crop in some instances, right? Some of the, I think some of the league leveling is in the process of going on right now, especially, as we continue to get further, and especially once we get to that halfway point. I mean, by the end, you are what we thought you were. All right, you are what you thought we were at that point. So, but right now, at this quarter mark, I think we are kind of figuring things out. Let me see what's going on. I see a couple in the chat. Let's see. My Deuce was the first one in the chat. Said, good evening. Have a blessed show as always. Appreciate you. Hey, man, favorite coworker in the building, man. What's going on? He said, all is not well in Charger Nation. Hey, we got to talk about that, man. I'm not going to lie. The Chargers have definitely been one of the more impressive teams and just one of the more impressive stories this far in the season for sure. But, yeah, that's an ugly loss, man. That's an ugly loss. On the road or whatever, it's the Giants. It's the Giants who benched Russell Wilson. You put in rookie first-time starter against a very capable, right, AFC West leading, rolling, steaming hot Los Angeles Chargers team, and they go out there and, I was going to say steal one, but they didn't steal it. They took it, man. They earned it. I mean, they really did, man. Chargers went out there and laid a baby egg, man. Laid a baby egg. So to say. Now, we're going to talk about that as well. And before I get too far, I think I've been talking about this for a couple weeks, more than a few weeks now. But now that we are a quarter of the way of the season in, I did put together a little power ranking of sorts, top 10 teams across the league. It's subjective. These lists are always subjective, but it's just as a disclaimer, right? It's subjective. My own thoughts and opinions, my own little flavor. You know what I mean? The things I like to see. You know what I mean? So I'll get into that as well. Once we let everybody get in here, get settled in, get settled in and get locked in. And matter of fact, I see here we go. We can't start like this. We're not gonna start like this, RBT fam. All right. I see 6 of y'all in the views. I only see 2 of y'all in the chat. What we doing? Drop something in the chat. Say something to you. What we doing? Come on, man. Please tell me y'all hit the like button. All 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of y'all. Please tell me y'all hit the like button. All right? But sit down and get comfortable. Sit down and get comfortable for sure. We got a lot to talk about. Where's my caption? There we go. And you know what? Matter of fact, I'm gonna go ahead and get us started, man. I'm just gonna dive right in while we wait for everybody to get comfortable. So, picking up, man, the Monday night recap. Hate to see this, man. And it's no secret, my Steelers have been in the market to land a big receiver for 2 years now. Last year, striking out with Brandon Ayuk may or may not have been a blessing in disguise, right? Maybe. And then all this season leading up, We go get DK Metcalf at the expense of George Pickens. So we don't necessarily fix the problem, right? We don't necessarily fix the problem. We still need a wide receiver too. That was the issue before. That issue remains. And Tyreek Hill has definitely been a guy that's been like rumored or linked, and that sort of thing for a possible trade around the midseason trade deadline, depending on what sources you hear. But now, unfortunately for Tyreek, man, suffers a catastrophic knee injury Monday night, and I remember seeing it live, and I feel like I saw it, and then they showed the replay. And I was like, yeah, I could have done without that. Comes down, he's going out of bounds. I think he catches a pass as he's going out of bounds. And honestly, just goes to extend his leg or put his leg down and missteps or whatever we want to call it. But man, dislocates his knee. I believe it was his right knee. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong. I want to say it was his right knee. Anywho, but no, gruesome injury, man. And then I think so. In addition to the dislocation, as a function of the knee dislocation, I believe he also tore his ACL and possibly his MCL. I think in one of the initial reports I saw, it mentioned that he had tore to some extent. I don't know, fulls or partials or whatnot, but I believe to some extent it was said that he tore two of the ligaments in his knee in that same knee, and I believe it was the ACL and the MCL. So prayers up for Tyreek, manifest your thing, speedy recovery, man, all that good stuff. I think I saw on social media he's already had surgery. So surgery, as far as anything I've seen, assumedly went well. And so, man, speedy recovery to Tyreek, man. Hopefully he comes back just as good as he was before he left. Hey, my dog Zach said we got Ben Skowronek. Hey, I ain't gonna lie, man. Hey, Ben, he does the dirty work, man. I appreciate Ben. He's a special teams ace, for one. Makes big plays there. He caught Aaron Rodgers' first touchdown as a Steeler week 1 against the Jets. You know what I mean? He's integral in our run blocking. You know what I mean? Like he's our do-it-all junk man, dog. And every team needs one. Every team needs one of those type of guys. Maybe he can't necessarily give you too much pure on offense or pure defensively, but effort, special teams, blocking, that type of stuff, balls to the wall style of effort. Like you need guys like that in your repertoire. So yeah, I definitely appreciate my dog Ben Skowronek for sure. For sure you're right. But let me see. So getting back to the game itself, the Dolphins do hold on and win this game on the road against the Jets, 27-21. Justin Fields had some moments in this game. And so this is just the dichotomy of Justin Fields, man. Just the up and the down, the highs are the highs interspersed between long lows of lows, relatively speaking. And that's what we got in this game, no different. And so inaccuracies, things like that. But then he'll run 43 yards, weaving through traffic for a touchdown. You know what I mean? And then he'll zip a pass 40 yards downfield, or he'll throw one into a tight space. I mean, he'll flash these abilities, man, to just make you wish or make you wonder, like, man, what do we got to do to get this dude 80% of the time instead of only seeing that dude 20% of the time? And so that's always been that seems to be the conundrum around Justin Fields. But be that as it may, Vikings do get a win at the expense of Tyreek. Jets fall to 0-4. And man, I'm telling you what. I'm anxious to see some of these teams now that are struggling. Even the team like the Dolphins still, especially losing Tyreek already, but in the outlook or the way things have looked or progressed, teams like the Panthers, teams like a lot of these style of teams, man. I want to see which of these teams are going to be movers and shakers around the trade deadline. Maybe I'm a little more excited to see for the trade deadline because I think my team is going to be a buyer if possible. And so maybe that's why I'm already a little intrigued. But I want to see which of these teams or which one of these kind of lower hanging teams go ahead and call it what it is and start selling off assets, man. And so definitely want to see that. And then, oh, you know what? Before I forget, there was another Monday night game. And this reminds me. And I don't know if it's just me. Maybe it's still side grace. Maybe I'm setting my ways. You know what I mean? Old dog, new tricks and all that. I hate the doubleheader Monday games, dog. I don't enjoy. They overlap. So if I want to watch both games, like I wasn't overly excited to see Bo Nix duke it out with Jake Browning on Monday night, but I gotta watch it anyway. So if I'm gonna watch it, like I want to be able to fully watch it. And so I'm watching the Dolphins Jets game, which was actually entertaining. I was entertained. So I had a good time watching that Dolphins and Jets game. Hate to see what happened to Tyreek. But of course, watching that game cost me about a quarter and a half of the Bengals and Broncos game. Like NFL, why? Who asked for that? Nobody asked for that. That's what I don't like. Like I just don't get it. I don't see. It bothers me. Long story short, Broncos waxed the Bengals. I don't think anybody's surprised that Broncos defense is a pretty talented unit, man. I really like Nick Benito. I liked him a lot coming out of Oklahoma. Honestly, I thought he was a little slept on, man, coming out of Oklahoma, but he's hitting the radar of a lot of folks now, man. But he's a stud, speed rushing dynamo. And then also, of course, you got Patrick Surtain, Jahdae Barron, do-it-all corner nickel from Texas. He's been a nice addition to this defense as well. And so really like kind of the balance that this Denver Broncos team has defensively. And then on the offensive side, Bo Nix has been a little up and down this far in the season for sure. But they have found a pretty solid running game from J.K. Dobbins. Comes over to the Broncos after leaving my dog Zach's Chargers just last year. I want to say he's like top 5 in rushing. Yeah, I want to say J.K. Dobbins is like top 5 in rushing to this point in the year, right? And you know what? Last year, I think he started by this time of the year. Last year, he was probably leading the league in rushing. I think his first 2 or 3 games as a Charger, the boy went for over 200 yards or some type of crazy stat like that. But moves within division to the Broncos, and he's the lead guy in that backfield. He's having some success there. But the Broncos handed to the Bengals, no issues there at all. 28-3. 28-3 for sure. Oh man, stop it. William White. Hey, long time, big dog. What's up, man? Hey, he said it's nice on that YouTube TV split screen. See, you know what, man? You getting too much money out here. Because you can afford that YouTube NFL package, boy. That means you getting a little change, man. That means you got a little change in your piggy bank. And you know what? In fairness, I think they did reduce the price, or they made it more affordable as far as the payment plan and whatnot. It still feels too much for me, man. Shout out to the Fire Stick boys, man. I'm sorry. Shout out to the Fire Stick boys, man. All right, I can't afford it. I can't afford it. And he says the tax write-off. You know what? You might be on to something. You might watching these NFL games might have to turn into a business expense for your dog. Yeah. Hey, William White. Hey, I appreciate you, family. I'm gonna have to look into that. Cause you damn right. I want to watch the games like they're intended to be watched. I want to see split screen YouTube TV. See what that's like. Watch 2 Monday night games on the same TV on Shiny TV. I gotta look into that. I gotta look into that. Shout out to my dog William White, man. Hey Zach, dog. I had this same conversation. I was talking to somebody about the same thing. It's like, bro, it feels like he's had 2 careers. Like if you told me, like I'd have thought he was like Saquon's age, honestly, like 28. You know what I mean? Like 28, 29. I'd have thought he was like about to touch 30. You know what I mean? But yeah, 26, he's still super young. Man, that sounds crazy. Wait a minute. 26, are you sure? That sounds, I feel like I was talking to somebody. I was talking to somebody because we were talking about I was talking to somebody about J.K. Dobbins. Surprised me when I saw his name as a top 5 rusher in the league. Him and Travis Etienne. They both in the top 5 right now. That's early, but they there, right? And I think J.K. Dobbins is 3rd, right? I think he's 3rd in the league right now. And I want to say, yeah, I think you're right. Cause I was talking to somebody like, damn, he's a lot younger than I thought. It feels like he lost what, 3 years to injury? He had 2 years with the Ravens, then he had 3 injured years, then he came back and was a comeback player of the year candidate, if not one. That was the year with the Chargers last year. Yeah, 26 sounds great, but that is crazy. And good for him as well. Because just talking through his timeline of his career, what he's went through with these injuries, he's been on 3 teams already as well. You know what I mean? And I feel like he had to sit out a full year. Like as a result of some of those injuries he's had. So if he's in fact just 26, man, that's a blessing because time is on his side, man. And I hope he's able to like make a name for himself. You know what I mean? He still got time. You know what I mean? Because the NFL can't wait to throw you away, man. It used to be 30, 31. Then it was a hard 30. And these days, boy, look, 28-year-old Derrick Henry couldn't get a call back from the Cowboys. And he took a deal on the low when he signed for the Ravens. And then all he did was damn near rush for 2,000 yards, right? Now this year, you feel me? 3 fumbles in the first 3 games. It is what it is. But it just speaks to the point, man, that a guy like Derrick Henry, you know, they was ready to ease him off into the pasture, man, at 28. Yeah, I want to say he's 28 when he hit the market. Dallas wouldn't even call him back. He lived and worked out in Dallas. Dallas with a massive hole at running back. Wouldn't even return the man's calls. And then Baltimore buys him on the low. And then here we are. But now I hope he works out. I really liked J.K. Dobbins coming out of Ohio State. And I'll tell you something. You know what? I want to say J.K. Dobbins was that the same draft as Jonathan Taylor? I want to say that was the same draft as Jonathan Taylor. J.K. Dobbins, Jonathan Taylor, and I think there was one more. It was like a 3-headed monster kind of at the top as far as running backs that year. But no, he was a top 2 back for me coming in. I want to say it was between either him and Jonathan Taylor, or who am I freaking thinking of? It's driving me nuts now. Who am I thinking of? Hey, Big Chef, man, you know what's going on, man. Hey, welcome to the penthouse, big dog. Come on, man. Welcome to the penthouse, big dog. I appreciate you. But no, J.K. Dobbins being 26, it threw me as well, man. It made me do a double take as well, man, when I just saw that, when I saw those stats to see where he was at leading the league, or where he was amongst the league leaders for sure. But yeah, man. Keeping it pushing. What is that? Oh, you sure right. Swift from Georgia. Yeah, Swift for Georgia. I wasn't a big Swift guy. Yeah, I didn't like Swift. I think I definitely had Swift. I'm pretty sure he was in my top 5, but I think he was closer to 5 than he was to 2. Yeah, Swift out of Georgia. You right. Shout out to my dog, Big Chef, man. Back like he never left. Hey, back like he never left. I appreciate you, big dog. For sure. Then let me see where we at. Let me see where we want to go. You know what? I'll start at the top. My Steelers went on the road, had the international game in Ireland. Man, we made this a lot harder than it had to be, man. We were in pretty firm control. This game at one point was 21-6. Looked like we were going to be able to just salt this away, maybe even spread that out. And then, of course, in true Steelers fashion, and I can call a spade. In true Steelers fashion, we can't help ourselves. We had to have some type of miscommunication, blown play, blown coverage, some type of questionable time, some type of questionable short yardage conundrum, some type of questionable time management. All these things that always kind of hide in the Steeler darkness. I always find a way to come to light before the games are over. And then we end up giving Minnesota a real shot to come back and steal this one, man. But luckily we hold on, pull this one out 24-21. Couple bad breaks in this game as well. Early in the game, we force a fumble on Jordan Mason. Jalen Ramsey picks it up, runs 50 yards to the end zone, and then in an ironic twist of fate, he fakes a hamstring injury and then hits the gritty, in homage to Justin Jefferson. I think Justin Jefferson had did that same style of celebration sometime last season where he grabbed his hamstring like he was hurt, and then he, fell into his gritty. So Jalen, gave a little bit of it back to him. Then after review, it is what it is. They give the ball back to the Vikings. And then only for a quarter and a half later, right, Jalen Ramsey leads the game with an official hamstring injury. So, like I said, you can't tempt fate. As soon as that happened, and then when he really got hurt, it made me think of when I was a little kid, your grandma tell you like, hey, don't play with don't play with canes, don't play with wheelchairs. Like, I remember we was kids, for whatever reason, we was like flip our eyelids inside out. And you're like, don't do that. Don't do it before it gets stuck. Better not do it. You don't want to put that on yourself. Then here we go. Jalen Red's out there faking hamstring injuries. And 30 minutes of football later, hamstring off the bone. So that's just how it goes, man. But we did end up pulling that out. My dog, man, Zach says Caleb Johnson never gonna get a look. Kenny Gainwell look nice, but he should not be on the one ahead of the day 2 rookie back. And you know what? Well, the Steelers typically, the Steelers are a very like old school, like traditional style, like organization, and to our own detriment. So it's like, it's almost tradition. Like Troy Polamalu, he didn't start, you know what I'm saying? He didn't start when we first drafted him. Cam Hayward didn't start when we first drafted him. I mean, so like it is a kind of thing where the Steelers really make you kind of like earn your keep or kind of like prove yourself. They don't try to give anything away. Now I say that, mind you, and we started Najee right out the gate. But now the circumstance for Najee was a little different, right? James Conner, we had just let James Conner go. Najee came in the first round as a top 20 pick versus the 3rd round pick for Caleb Johnson. So it is a little different. He's got a little bit of, he doesn't have the same cachet. And then also we do have a guy that we felt good about. And I won't say that I do want to see him, but the organization definitely feels good about Jaylen Warren, and he's the guy to put his time in. And so they wanted Caleb to come in and earn it. Take it from Jaylen Warren if you can, right? And then also Kenny Gainwell, the signing in free agency. I think it's one of those things where he's there. He is an established veteran. He's the guy that's got, I think his touches are going to be secure because he's the only legitimate like receiving back threat. Like Jaylen Warren can catch a swing out of a backfield, and he runs hard, he runs with authority, he runs tough, but he's not necessarily dynamic as a receiving threat, as a running back. And so Kenny Gainwell does have that edge over both these guys. Caleb Johnson wasn't a big receiving threat in college at Iowa. All he did was tote the ball 400 yards or 400 carries a season, it felt like, and put that offense on his back. But also, man, he's got himself in a little bit of a doghouse, especially the week 2 loss. I believe that was week 2. The week 2 loss against the Seahawks. Now, there's a lot of stuff that went wrong in that game, right? But the major turning point in that game was just just a boneheaded rookie mistake. And then, so if you don't know what I'm talking about, it's a kickoff, right? Caleb Johnson, he doesn't field the kickoff cleanly, but he obviously touches it, but he doesn't field it cleanly. So he lets the ball just go into the end zone, thinking it's going to be a dead ball, like college, I guess. Well, it's not. It's the lead. Seattle goes down, they recover it, and so now they steal a 7. They spread it out, and then the complexity of that game just completely changes, and we end up losing that game in no small part to that Caleb Johnson gaffe. Now, in fairness to him, he wasn't a kickoff returner in college, right? And so be that as it may, and he's a rookie, but I don't want to hear none of that. He's in the league now. This was an opportunity. Like, this is something that role gave him live game snaps. It gave him rushes. It gave him touches, right? So he got to get what you can get. And so, he did dig himself in a little bit of hole there. But then also, I think it's just in camp, man. I think, and I'll tell you what makes me think about it, Zach, as well, because I'm looking at Quinshon Judkins with Cleveland. He got a late start. He had some legal issues right before the season. They end up signing him like 2 days before the season starts. I think that first game he's inactive. Then he starts the next 2 games, and he's toting it home. I think he put up a damn near 100 yards on 18 carries against the Packers in week 3, right? And so I see that. I see his peers, but namely Quinshon Judkins, right? And he's in our division. And so I do see the success he's having. And a part of me is like, hey, man, there's definitely room to give Caleb more opportunity. But I'm not going to lie. And especially with hindsight being 2020, Kenny Gainwell was toting the pill, man. So hindsight being 2020, I'm not mad that he got those carries. I am glad that Caleb Johnson, he did get a couple carries in relief in that game. But I think for the most part, I don't know if the coaching staff, and then also A-Rod. A-Rod is notorious for not being a fan of rookies as well. And so I think maybe he's got to earn the trust of coaching staff and A-Rod as well. And then I think he set himself back with that special teams gaffe that may have been not the only reason, but a big chunk of the reason why we dropped that game against the Seahawks in week 2 as well. But also, man, I'm thinking, I'm with you though. There's got to be a way to still get him more immersed in the offense though, for sure. Man, yeah, hey, I feel you, dog. I don't like playing like that either. Because even when he was running to the end zone and grabbed it, I was like, man, are you kidding me? When I tell you, man, my stomach dropped to the floor. I'm like, come on, dog. Don't do this to me, Jalen. Don't do this to me. Then he hits his gritty. And so I'm like, relieved. But I'm like, all right, And then I recognized from when Justin Jefferson had did it before. But then the fact that he came back around and pulled that hammy, dog, is like, you know what? That's why you shouldn't play like that. That's why you shouldn't play like that. For sure. Hey, Big Chef, man, he said he agrees with Zach, man. He said you got to get a young man some burn. But he is on the ish list for those fumbles. Yeah, for sure, dog. Like I think there was probably more of a, especially from the fan base, because we're excited to see the fans are always excited to see the rookies anyway, right? So from the fan base, like there's been some chirping in the fan base now about Caleb Johnson. Like, what are we doing? Also, Roman Wilson, a lot of the fan base wants to see him. It doesn't feel like he's got any real burn or to see what he's about. But no, this with Caleb Johnson, I think the mental errors and things like that definitely quelled some of that ground support for him. But I do want to see what he's got for sure. And I'm thinking also with Jaylen Warren being as aggressive a runner as he is, being nicked up and bumped and bruised is something that we have to deal with. He has had some kind of bumps and bruises that have knocked him out of a few games here and there along the way. This year, no different, right? He started 3 games and then missed his 4th start due to injury. So I think Caleb's time will come. And you know what? Another thing as well, just now that we're talking it out, it could be an intentional slow play because that the team is aware that Jaylen Warren is likely not going to be able to stay healthy for the year in true bell cow fashion. And so we can also slow playing Caleb Johnson actually helps to ensure that we're going to have a healthy, fresh body like this second half of the season, while Jaylen Warren and even Kenny Gainwell, to an extent, take these early bumps and bruises as well. That might be said. Maybe they playing the long game on Caleb. I'm just hypothesizing, but maybe they playing the long game. No, and that's a fair point, man. And that's what a lot of people said because he wasn't a returner in college, right? Now, but also like my thing about it though, Zach, I was like, they're starting Jaylen Warren. They bring over Kenny Gainwell as a free agent. Not that we gave him a ton of money, but we did sign him as a free agent. And I think like his function as the receiving back, I think Kenny Gainwell's role is secure because of his receiving threat. And so the touches for Caleb are pretty slim. And so putting him back there as a returner, it gets him live game reps, right? And so I think that has something to do with it as well. But then at the end of the day as well, like you can't do what he did. Like he can't do what he did. And even though he didn't do it in college, the coaching staff for the team came out and they've talked like players like Connor Hayward, Cam Hayward's little brother. He's one of our special teams aces. He came out and said like, nah, man, this is something that's coached. Like he should have known that. It's talked about. We go over all these things. But then again, like we said, he is a rookie. Now, Gainwell did his thing, man. I'm mad he didn't. He had 99 yards. He's never had a 100-yard game as a professional. And this could have been his first 99 or 100-yard game. He finished with 99 yards on either 18 or 19 carries. Did get 2 touchdowns, though. Got in the paint twice. And so I was happy for him. I was. Hey, man, look, Big Chef in here coming for my OC, said Artie Smith sucks. So his logic is what it's subject to. Well, you know what? And wait a minute. In fairness, Algier was like an 1,100-yard back before they drafted Bijan. Now he's not Bijan. I'm not saying that, but I'm saying he was a capable starting caliber back. I want to say he had 1,100 yards the year before. And then also, let us not forget, Bijan had a couple untimely fumbles as well his rookie year. We got to remember that also. Bijan he put the pill on the floor a few times that rookie year as well. I don't know if they lost all of them, maybe they recovered them or he recovered some, but he had a little bit of the fumblies, right? And the Falcons as well were in a position because like that division is always pretty competitive, and so they were in a tight kind of that division was nip and tuck his rookie year. I think at a point they were like there were three of those teams I think were like 7-6, and so they were all rotating the lead in that division. And so with Algier being there, an established veteran, he's got 1,000-yard season under his belt, and you got a young stud, talented Bijan, right? But who has put the church's money on the floor a couple times. I think that has something to play in it as well. I do. Oh man, shout out to my terrible time in the chat, holding it down for them damn Houston. I almost said Rockets. Them Houston, Texas, and CJ Stroud for president. I tell you what, I wouldn't mind voting for him for president. Now picking him, now believing that he's gonna win that division is yet to be seen. He's got my vote for president though. I mean, he's got my vote. He can have that. He can have two of them. Yeah, I got you. He said he wouldn't Woody Marks though. Oh man, hey, I ain't gonna lie, man. Shout out to Woody Marks. I think Woody Marks, y'all drafted him out of. Was Woody Marks out of not USC? Was it USC? Where would Woody Marks come from? But no, he had a solid game as well. He did. He had a solid game as well. And matter of fact, man, when is help me out, Tom. Old boy from Cincinnati that was there before y'all signed Nick Chubb. Mixon. So when is Mixon done? I can't remember. Is Mixon out? Like, is he due back? Is he expected back this season, or is he out for the year? You gotta remind me. I can't remember what exactly is going on with Mixon right now on the spot. But yeah, when is Mixon expected back, if at all? Yeah, let me know. Washington goes on the road to Atlanta. Marcus Mariota making his second consecutive start. They lose this one 34-27. Michael Penix had a nice bounce back day after a ugly game 2 weeks ago. I think that was against the Bucks. And so nice bounce back performance for him. He had he's always thrown a nice deep sideline ball anyway, dating back from his time at Washington. But nice deep ball strike up the left sideline to Drake London. Kyle Pitts is starting to kind of come around a little bit. And I don't even know if it's coming around or just if teams are like finally like making it a point to integrate. I mean, I don't know. I'm still so confounded at times about what's been going on with Kyle Pitts. And we talk about him like he's been a complete bust. I think he had 1,000 yards as a rookie. You know what I mean? And so, but he's I know he got in the paint against Washington, and I think thus far in the season, I want to say he's got 2 or 3. I want to say he may have 3 touchdowns so far. So shout out to Kyle Pitts. Shout out to Kyle Pitts for sure. New Orleans on the road at Buffalo, 31-19, short and sweet. Buffalo spanks in this one. I'm not gonna lie, I didn't think New Orleans was gonna score as many points as they did. I think when I called this game, I just had it a lot to a little. I think I had 30-10, just a lot to a little. Buffalo gets 31-19, and I'll tell you, man, James Cook is a flat out stud. James Cook is a stud. Now, I mean, I've been a fan of him. I was a huge fan of his brother Dalvin Cook. My goodness, my dog Chopper tell you, I was a huge Dalvin Cook fan, and James Cook is a chip right off Big Brother's block. I mean, they're built similar. I thought that at their best, at their peak, I think Dalvin is a hair faster, and I think he's a little more powerful as well. But James is coming into his own nicely, man. James Cook's the top 5 back in the league, and I was trying to think for a half second because I don't think that's a stretch, or I don't think that's like, you know, too far or too much credit. Because I'm thinking, okay, if we go Saquon and Derrick Henry, you know, as your 1 and 2, however you want to do that, and I'm still gonna say Derrick Henry in that mix right there with Saquon, despite the rough start to this season, right? I'm not gonna be a victim of of recency bias, right? He's still a stud. So let's say if you go Saquon and Derrick Henry at 1 and 2. Now for me, Jahmyr Gibbs is the next guy. I love me some Jahmyr Gibbs, and then of course, you know, Bijan's in there as an all around threat. But honestly, I would probably say James Cook then Bijan. And I say that because I think James Cook, I think he's, yeah, I'll probably say James Cook then Bijan. I'll probably put James Cook right up there in that mix with 3, 4, 5, 6, Jahmyr Gibbs, Bijan Robinson, James Cook. I'm probably forgetting somebody obvious, but right there off the top of my head, like those are the guys I think of. Like if somebody just says like best backs in the league right now, like those are the 5 names that pop to mind immediately. Now Chris McCaffrey, y'all know I love me some C-Mac. He's making his return, or he's returned from injury that essentially wiped out his whole 2024, and he's still who he is, but. I think it's a new wave of guys out here, and still I want to see, as he progresses and see if he gets back to that true elite level production that we've been spoiled from seeing from C-Mac for sure. Man, is he ever? Yeah, I can't remember. I can't remember what was going on with him. I know I know he was, starting on IR or PUP or whatever the case, but I couldn't remember the extent of what was going on for him. And then they went out and got Nick Chubb. But yeah, I can't remember what was going on with him. Oh man! I know that ain't my dog. Hoppy, come on, Hoppy. Hey, look, right on time. Look at this. He said not the guy that went for 42. Hey man, sometimes it be like that. Sometimes, hey, y'all did try to do, man. Oh, it's calf and ankle for Mixon. Damn. Okay. No, not my king at all. But hey, man, I gotta respect it, man. I gotta respect it, man. That man's been dominant. I'm not gonna lie, that man's been dominant. And into his 30s. Kind of like we were talking about earlier, man. My dog Zach talking about running back ages, and J.K. Dobbins is 26 and he feels 32. And so, like, yeah, man, Derrick Henry's what, 30, 31? Or is this I think he's 31 actually, yeah. 31, so maybe 32 by the end of the year. And it's been a rough one this far, but last year he finished 50 yards short of 2,000? Would have been a second 2,000-yard season. I think it had made him the first and only guy to ever have 2,000-yard seasons in a career. And like I said, he came like maybe not 50. He was like 70 yards short of 2K, right? Because Saquon ended up getting 2K, but Derrick Henry was right behind him. Literally, I think he needed like 70 yards or something. He said, Cam Scatterboo. Hey, man, I'm not going to lie, man. Cam Scatterboo. I did once I peeped him at Arizona State, and you know what? Honestly, I remember seeing his name, especially like the second half of the college football season as we neared the playoffs, because he started getting some Heisman buzz, right? So it was it was more or less a two horse race between Travis Hunter and Ashton Jeanty, and then it feels like as we got towards the playoffs, man, I started seeing Cam Scatterboo getting a lot of Heisman love, man. He started kind of getting a little buzz there, and then. I'm not gonna lie, I didn't watch a lot of Arizona State games, but I did watch that damn Arizona State game against Texas in the playoffs, and that man he did everything. I think he had like 100 yards rushing. I think he had 80 yards receiving. I think he threw like 2 passes in that game. I mean, he did it all, man. And so he's really kind of, and this is what's crazy about that, Hoppy. He's went over there to New York and really solidified himself as the kind of go-to back. And Tyrone Tracy last year, if y'all remember, for the Giants, he had a good season. Like Tyrone Tracy, I don't know his full season stats, but like once he kind of took over as the guy in that backfield, Tyrone Tracy had some pretty solid performances, man. He put together a stretch of games that made you, if you're a Giants fan, you had to be optimistic about what you had in Tyrone Tracy going forward. And so now Cam Scatterboo's already, came in, and I'm not gonna lie, man, he's just got juice. He's just got some juice around him, man. He's just got some juice around him. Yeah, man, he's got that old school kind of like John Riggins. If you want to, maybe we can go a little hard, man. Mike Allscott, You know what I mean? And now here's the thing though, Hoppy, and this is what we got to see. Like, can he be that type of guy? Can he be a legitimate, like, down in and down out power back? You know, can he be a modern day John Riggins? Or because we have seen these type of guys before, like a Peyton Hillis. Peyton Hillis was it even 2 seasons? Y'all remember Peyton Hillis? Was it even 2 seasons? I know he had that one season. He went for like 1,600 yards. He got the cover of Madden and everything, and then he fell off the face of the planet. You know what I mean? So I want to. Can he be John? Can he be John Riggins, or is he Peyton Hillis? You know what I mean? That's what we got to see. But no, I like him. And I saw a clip of him on the sideline with Jackson Dart, and yeah, he's a full out crash dummy. He was like, "I told you I was gonna run through his effing face. I told you." Like he was wired up, man. He was going crazy on the sidelines. I love it, especially if you play with a dude like that as well, man. So we had a couple crash outs. Hey, Hoppy, you remember we had a couple crash outs ourselves back at CMU? Hey, Crazy Trey, we had you remember? I know you remember Crazy Trey. We had a couple crash outs, man. Cam Scatterboo gives me Crazy Trey vibes, dog. Hey, shout out to my dog Rick. Hey, shout out to my dog Ricky Farr, man, for sure. Kansas City's own, man. Shout out to Ricky. For sure. Let's see, man. Moving on. What else happened? Oh, Cleveland on the road at Detroit. They get spanked 34-10. And finally, man, the Flacco experiment, they put that to bed. And it was time to. I think Flacco, I guess I understand the rationale when they brought him in. They tried to recapture the lightning in the bottle that was 2 or was it 3 years ago now, where he comes in off the couch, fills in for Deshaun. I think they win 4 out of the last 6 games. They go to the playoffs. Kevin Stefanski inexplicably gets Coach of the Year. I think Joe Flacco got Comeback Player of the Year. Yeah, this whole oversell the league did with the Browns. Myles Garrett gets Defensive Player of the Year. They do all of that. They take their ass to Houston and get spanked in the first round of playoffs, get their ass sent home. But anywho, Cleveland in typical Cleveland fashion, they think, oh, you know what we'll do? We'll go rekindle that old flame. And they bring back Joe Flacco, now 3 years older than he was that first time. And it's been a disaster more times than not. Not all of it on him. Jerry Jeudy, inconsistent hands, the same problem he had in Denver when they got him out of there. Passes bouncing off his hands or off his chest into defenders. Now hold on, man. Hey, look at this, man. Look at this, Hoppy. Bowser, man, it must be a CMU reunion. Bowser calling me. Bowser calling me now. I'm like, look at me. I'm online. Matter of fact, tap your ass in. Bring your ass to this YouTube show. Matter of fact, let me tell him right now. Yeah, matter of fact, tell him pull up. Yeah, man, it's turned into a CMU reunion, boy. Shout out to my dog Bowser. But nah, so Flacco gets benched. Dylan Gabriel named the starter going forward. And this is what's interesting, man, is that, like, I don't know. Nobody ever knows what Cleveland's doing. So I don't want to pretend that they have any rhyme or reason to anything that they do. You know what I mean? I don't have any misillusions there that Cleveland makes intelligent roster or personnel moves. But I don't necessarily understand their whole game plan going into this. You bring in Flacco, you trade for Kenny Pickett for whatever reason. You draft Dylan Gabriel, you draft Shadur Sanders, you trade away Pickett. Then now you bench Flacco after 4 games, and now Dylan Gabriel's going to start. So I mean, who knows what's going to happen there? But I think you draft 2 quarterbacks, you got to see them both. I think you definitely got to see them both. So Dylan Gabriel, he'll have a chance to pick this up and run with it, man. So we'll see that Cleveland Browns defense. Now this Lions team spanked them for sure, but that Cleveland Browns defense is legit. They've done a lot of work, man, to a lot of good offenses. That Bengals offense at full strength. Now they end up still losing that game because of the offense, but they dominated Joe Burrow in the game, man. Before the injury, they're at full strength. They get absolutely dominated. The Packers absolutely held in check, and then the Browns actually find a way to come back and kind of steal that one as well. special teams and defense leading that way. I mean, so outside of the Ravens game where they caught the Ravens pissed off after they pissed the bed against Buffalo, outside of that defense has been dominant as advertised. And so if they can get any style of consistency, if they can get any style of just don't mess it up, if they can get anything like that from Dylan Gabriel or maybe Shadir Sanders, depending on how this plays out, I mean, they're a team that they're gonna be a tough out for just about anybody they run into, man, as long as that defense is healthy and firing on cylinders like they have been so far. Hey, there he is, man. Hey, shout out to my dog Bowser, man. What's up, man? I was just telling Hoppy, I said, boy, it feels like a CMU reunion in here, boy. We didn't talk. Hey, we was in here. Look, Hoppy just shouted out Ricky Farr. I was telling about Crazy Trey, man. You remember, man, look. Y'all had to be there, man. Yeah, man. Shout out to my CMU brethren, man. My brothers in the building, man. Appreciate you. A matter of fact, Tom in here somewhere, too. What's going on, bro? For sure. Zach said, first start being international against the Brian Flores defense is brutal. Man, yeah, and you know what? I'm glad you reminded me about that, too. Because that's also rough on the Vikings. Bro, the Vikings just played my Steelers in Ireland, and then now they end up staying in Europe an additional week, and then now they're going to play the Browns in London. Like, bro, how's that? I don't know. I don't like that. I don't like that for the Vikings, dog. I don't like it. I mean, you don't have to take 2 international flights, but still, man, that's a lot to ask, man. They're football players and they're professionals, but dog, these are still grown men with families, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? These are grown men with kids. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. 2 weeks overseas, back-to-back international football game. That's a lot to ask or put on anyone, any team, bro. I wasn't a fan of that scheduling, but no, that's definitely got to be a rough. That's definitely going to be a rough first start for Dylan Gabriel for sure. For sure. Yeah, that could get ugly, actually, now that we're talking about it. Yeah, that could get ugly. My God. Yeah, that could get ugly. Now, the only thing about that as well is that the Browns with that defense, now defense travels. You know what I mean? Offenses don't always travel, but generally speaking, defenses travel. And so my Steelers, like I said, that game, we let that game get a lot closer than it should have been. But, man, we was tearing Carson Wentz ass up. I think we had 7 sacks. We hit him another 3 or 4 times. I think we only ended up getting 1 interception to stick, but there was another interception, I think, overturned on a penalty, another interception that got dropped. We had the fumble return for a touchdown by Jalen Ramsey that got overturned as well. You know what I mean? So the Browns, that Vikings offense, man, they're there for the taking. The Browns, and especially with as talented and as aggressive as their defense is as well, if the lights aren't too bright and if the Browns are able to maybe get a quick turnover, put them on a short field or something like that, if they really get to and rattle Carson Wentz, I mean, the Browns might have a backdoor shot of pulling something off, man. So stranger things have definitely happened for sure. Bowser in here dropping by. He said, Gabriel going to light him up. Oh, light him up with 10-yard outs. I mean, hey, he going to have to do something. And I ain't going to lie, the way the Vikings offensive line looked last week against my Steelers, boy, I don't know if he can go. I don't know if it's going to be 10-yard outs. Boy, they might need 3, but they going to need a lot of smoke and bubbles, some drags. Man, because I'm telling you, we got the hunting, boy. It started getting rough back there for Wentz. And now you got Myles Garrett. Mason Graham has been playing well. The other guy on the other edge, Isaiah McGuire, he's been pretty solid. Man, that Denzel Ward playing like a top 3 corner in the league. I mean, so, I can't wait to see that. Matter of fact, Denzel Ward duke it out with Justin Jefferson. So, yeah, man, that's a heavyweight matchup, man. I'm going to definitely be tapped in watching that for sure. Dog, that's what's crazy, bro. That's what's crazy. And you got to remember, I think they had the 80-yard catch and run on a blown coverage by Jordan Addison. Jordan Addison getting hawked by one of my linebackers. You know what I mean? After like I don't know, maybe it wasn't 80. It was damn near 80. Or he damn near went 80. Maybe that's what it was. He needed 80 to score, and I think we ended up, Peyton Wilson ended up chasing him down and getting him down at like the 2. But yeah, nah, man. But nah, it's a good way to put it. I'm telling you, because I had to until you just said it, boy. I felt like it. Yeah. I ain't need you to remind me of that, Zach Beck. I don't need to feel no worse about it than I do. It's Victory Wednesday, damn it. It's Victory Wednesday. Now, here's a question for y'all. Here's the question. Over how many games does Dylan Gabriel start? How many games does Dylan Gabriel start? And if he does get replaced, do they go back to Flacco or does Shedeur get a shot? What are y'all thoughts there? And then you know what? Last thing as well before I move on from this one as well. Ooh, 2. You're gonna give them 2 games. The Vikings. You know what? Now I wonder what their schedule looks like. Nah, you know what? They gave Flacco 4 weeks, and also there's no what's the word I'm trying to say here? It's not a secret that they're not looking to put Shedeur on the field. Right? So I think Dylan's gonna have more leeway than 2 games for sure. And I think honestly, unless it's completely inept, right? Unless it's completely just flat out inept, he doesn't look like an NFL caliber quarterback, and I don't think it's gonna be that bad. But barring something like that, I think he's gonna get a pretty wide berth. I'm not gonna lie. I think he's going to get a pretty wide berth. If Flacco got 4 games, I think Dylan's going to get 6 games, 8 games, right? I don't think Shedeur, barring injury, but I don't think Shedeur is going to get a real opportunity to touch the field outside of that last month of the season. I think outside of that last month of the season, those last 4 games, depending on what it looks like, what Dylan's look like, what the team looks like, then maybe we see Shedeur get a crack at it when everything is all said and done, half the team's on vacation. I think maybe then. But I think Dylan's gonna get a lot of rope, man. He said Shedeur comes in second half of game 2. It's all about the money. Hey, bro, you gotta come on. If it was about the money, he'd be playing now. If it was about the money, he'd be playing now. I think he was a top 5 jersey seller in the offseason, in preseason. You know what I'm saying? So the money's always been Shedeur. Ain't nobody paying to see Flacco or Kenny Pickett before they sent his ass up the road. Ain't nobody paying to see Dylan Gabriel. Dylan Gabriel had to go to college for 6 or 7 years to get himself draft eligible. It took him 7 years in college to get draft eligible. And then when he got drafted in the 3rd, most people felt he was overdrafted in the 3rd. And that's separating him from Shedeur because nobody expected Shedeur to fall to the 5th, right? But even outside of that, nobody had Dylan Gabriel in the 3rd. So he was arguably overdrafted. He's a 6 or 7 year college player. I think he was 24, going on 25 drafted. I think the only rookie older than Dylan Gabriel is Shiloh Sanders. I think Shiloh's 25. Shiloh and Dylan Gabriel both, I think, spent 6 or 7 years in college, legitimately. You know what I mean? So if it was about the money, I think Shedeur would have been out there for sure. Zach said after Minnesota, their schedule isn't terrible. Okay. He said, unless it looks like Peterman back there. Hey, man. Hey, they don't remember Nathan. Was it Nathan Peterman with the Bills? They came in and started over Tyrod Taylor for whatever reason and threw 5 interceptions in his first 6 passes. Or was it 4 interceptions in his first 6 passes? Something crazy like that. Yeah, I remember Nathan Peterman with the Bills. I don't know what was going on with the Bills and Tyrod. Why they did that. I can't remember exactly, but I believe that was Nathan Peterman. I think that was his name. I'm pretty sure the boy threw 4 picks and 5 passes legitimately. Legitimately. I think there was 6 minutes of first quarter action played. The man had 4 interceptions. I'm pretty sure. Kelvo said you pay Garrett, you pay Judy, pay Ward and Newsom. Newsom ain't got paid, has he? I don't think Newsom got paid. For Deshaun. For Deshaun, 30 million matters. Well, no, so I agree with all of that, but I don't necessarily think that. I think that's their thinking why they're going to Dylan Gabriel. Because I think it came out as well. I mean, it hasn't been a secret. The only person that wanted Shedeur in that building was Andrew Berry. Ownership didn't want him. Stefanski didn't want him, right? So the only person that that wanted him was the GM Andrew Berry, and and I guess he finally wore the owner down and was able to draft him in round 5. But there's nobody pulling for Shedeur in that building, and then outside of the GM, but we see, I mean, outside of getting him in the building, that pool hasn't had any more pool outside of that to help his chances or prospects on the roster. You know what I mean? But I think that they think they're using that. They are using that logic, but they're using that logic for Dillon Gabriel. Right, wrong, or other, but they're using that logic for Dillon Gabriel. That's why I think that Dillon Gabriel's going to get a pretty wide berth. I think Dillon Gabriel's got 8 games, bro. I ain't going to lie to you. Flacco had 4. Dillon Gabriel's going to have 8 games. That means the last month of the season, there's 4 or 5 games left right there in that mix. Depending how things look then I think Shedeur, they may end up turning or giving Shedeur a look. Maybe. I'm telling you, I don't think that team is. I think they're gonna have to be now painted into a corner, backed into a corner. They're gonna have to have their ankles up against the invisible wall. They're about to fall off a cliff. Like, I think it's. I don't think they're eager or excited to push Shedeur under center at all. Oh yeah, I forgot about Tyler Shuck. He got to be about the age well. Like you right. If Gabriel and Shiloh was 24, 25, then yeah, Tyler Shuck got to be 25, 26 for sure. Hey, but that's what I'm saying. It's gonna take that. 1 in 7 might get him a look. But you said 2 games though. See, that's what that's for, because they won in 3 right now. So yeah, if they lose 3 in a row, then maybe that 4th game. But that's what I'm saying, man. Like, and you know what? I know Zach looked at their schedule and said after Minnesota it's going to ease up a little bit, and so I definitely think this week 1 game against that Brian Flores defense and on the road internationally, I don't expect this first game to be pretty. Like I said, that defense, if they're able to find success and turn the ball over and do those things that give short fields or even score one themselves, right? Fumble return or interception return for a touchdown, things like that, then yeah, maybe they can backdoor and maybe try to steal one, something like that. But outside of something like that happening, I would think that this Brian Flores Vikings defense, man, they probably make it a very long day at the office for Dillon Gabriel. But then if it eases up after that, right? And then, he'll probably, I don't imagine at all that he's going to offer any type of star value. But even like my thoughts on him coming into the draft, like I thought he was like a day 3 guy for sure, right? Probably 6th round, honestly. But a guy that Colt McCoy, what did Colt McCoy do in the league, right? Sat on the bottom of your bench. He was a smart, capable guy, a guy that fills up the room, a guy that, you know what I mean? I imagined his career going something like that, right? But no, they honestly had to think a lot higher of him than I'm thinking of him, and maybe a lot of people are, because they took him in the 3rd round, which is early by most all accounts for sure. You see what I'm saying? So yeah. Oh man, hey man, it's a full-fledged reunion, man. Hey Trav, man, what's up, man? Hey, what's up, man? Hey Zach, you lying, man? Is Tyler Shook that damn old? He older than Trevor Lawrence? Trevor Lawrence he can't be. Trevor Lawrence on his 2nd contract, bro. Trevor Lawrence I think he's 2 years into his 2nd contract. So that means Trevor Lawrence had to put 5 in, then he got paid, and then I think this is the 2nd year of that deal, because he's getting $55 million a year for whatever reason. Nobody knows why, but for whatever reason, Trevor Lawrence and Tua Tagovailoa both making $55 million a year. So Trevor Lawrence got 5 in to get paid, and then I think this is the 2nd year. So Tyler Shook can't be that old, can he? How old is Lawrence? Because Lawrence ain't 28, because Lawrence is younger than Herbert. I think Herbert's 28. And Lawrence came in a few years after Herbert and them, right? When they got drafted. Like Herbert, Baker. Yeah, Herbert and Baker, that's the same draft, I believe, right? Trevor Lawrence and them, they didn't get drafted till like at least 2 years after that. Come on, man. Wait, you talking about Trevor Lawrence? No, you can't be talking about Trevor Lawrence. So Tyler Shook? 28? No fucking way. No way, man. That's nuts. Hey, shout out to my dog Keandre, man. Captain of the ship, man. Hey, he said he fresh off work. What's going on? Oh, hey, my dog. You see? Damn. Look here, bro. I'm an hour in, and the comments ain't been on the board. You see? That's why I need you. That's why I need you, bro. I mean, I'm not a big Trevor fan. I haven't been a Trevor fan. I've been pretty hard on him. I don't know if I want to call him a bust because we got to keep in mind like actual busts, like Ryan Leaf, Jamarcus Russell. I mean, like, you know what I mean? Like, I think there's still a delineation between like true to life, flat out bust and Trevor Lawrence. He's overpaid and overrated, but I don't know if I'll say he's a bust. I don't know if I'll call him a full-fledged bust. You can still do worse than Trevor Lawrence. I don't know if I call him a bust. Because bust is aggressive. You know what I mean? Like, I try to hold off on bust and save it for, like, that feels a little aggressive. He's got a playoff win. He's got a division title and a playoff win under his belt against Zach's Chargers. Zach's Chargers were up 27 points. Wild card weekend. I'll never forgive Justin Herbert for this. I will never forgive Justin Herbert for this, man. I can't consider you, and this is what's always been my argument against Herbert, is, bro, if you're going to be one of these guys, if we're going to put you in conversation with if we're going to put you in those conversations with Patty Mahomes, Allen, Burrow, Lamar, we know those names. That's the conversation that Justin Herbert has been included in for like the last 4 years. Like after his rookie year, people jumped him there. I was like, well, wait a minute, man. He still ain't came through in these big moments. Then you go on the road in the playoffs, 5-4 matchup. You go against a young Trevor Lawrence in that Jaguars team, right? They weren't a juggernaut by any stretch. I think they probably won that division at 9 wins. You're up 27 points in the first half, and you lose that game. That's inexcusable. Hell no. Yeah, that's inexcusable. So Trevor Lawrence got a division title or two. Did they win two divisions? They won one division for sure, and they got a playoff win. You know what? Now that I'm saying it out loud, I mean, how do you feel about CJ Stroud, Bowser, Kelvo? How do you feel about CJ Stroud? Because Trevor Lawrence and CJ Stroud, as far as team success, is pretty similar. And they're in the same division. They both have a playoff win. They both have a division title. But I don't know. Because if Trevor's a bust, what does that mean for CJ Stroud? You know what I'm saying? I don't know. He said Shucks 2 weeks older than Lawrence. That's crazy, bro. That's crazy. Hey, man. Hey, I don't disagree. And this is what's crazy about Trevor Lawrence, man. Brian Thomas Jr. should be a top 7 receiver in football. Brian Thomas Jr. I thought his rookie year was more impressive than Malik Neighbors. Personally, I mean, I thought his rookie year was more impressive than Malik Neighbors. You know what I mean? And I think he's more of a unicorn, man. He's 6'4". He's got size and speed. He's got that size. He's 6'4", but he's got speed and quickness and agility, short area movement, like a much smaller guy, like a Malik Neighbors, but he's 6'4". And he runs 4.3. And he stops and cuts on, and he stops and moves on that. Like, man, hey, Brian Thomas Jr. is a bad boy. But Trevor Lawrence ain't bringing the best out of him. And when Trevor got hurt last year, Mac Jones teed Brian Thomas Jr. up. Brian Thomas Jr. was a top 6'7" receiver in football last year with Mac Jones at quarterback. And now Trevor Lawrence, they still ain't really got on that same page. Hey, Keandre, bro, I feel you. And I tried to tell Tom this. I was arguing with my dog Tom about this, bro, CJ ain't never came out that sophomore slump, bro. CJ still in that sophomore slump for sure. Now, in fairness, that Texans offensive roster is in shambles. And it's not even the skill positions, but that offensive line, bro, it's atrocious. And then as bad as that line is, we forget they traded away a top 3 pass protecting left tackle in Larry Tunsil. They gave him away to my dog Bowser's Commanders. You know what I'm saying? And then so they draft Ariante Ursery out of Minnesota, and I like him, right? I do like him. I think he's going to be solid. I think he is, but he's got a ways to go. He's a second round left tackle. You know what I mean? So he's still got a ways to go. They brought in journeyman Laken Tomlinson. If you're in here, you can tell me who y'all brought in. I know y'all brought in Laken Tomlinson, a journeyman guard. Y'all bounced around. What's the guy? He's been there for a while. He went to an HBCU, got drafted in the first round. He was a right tackle initially, and then they've moved him inside and out. He's moved around. I think last I remember he was playing either left or right guard. I can't even think of his name. Juice Scruggs or something like that. I mean, that offensive line is in shambles, bro. Have y'all seen that clip? I've been seeing it online a lot, but the clip of that sack against the Titans where nobody blocks Jeffrey Simmons. Now, let me tell you why that's unforgivable. Jeffrey Simmons is lined up as a shade nose. Jeffrey Simmons is lined up at one tech. So if anything, like he's going to be doubled between center and right guard. And then for whatever reason, right guard slides right, center slides left. Nobody touches Justin Simmons. It's the fastest sack we ever seen in our life. The time on that sack had to be 0.7 seconds. Like shit like that is what CJ Stroud dealing with on that offensive line. So in fairness, it's not all him, but also though, he's not, and I was trying to talk, like, he's not playing great ball either. He's holding on to the ball. His accuracy hasn't been as good as his rookie year. I think his accuracy is wildly inconsistent, or is more consistent than it should be. So I don't mean, yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on with CJ for sure. But that's what I was saying though, Bowser. So if you feel Trevor Lawrence is a bust, then what does that say about CJ Stroud? I don't think their careers to this point are too far off. So he had a stable of pass catchers, online and backs, and didn't produce and don't count the 3 Pro Bowlers on the defensive line. Are we talking about the Texans or are we talking about the Jags? Hold on. Stable of pass catchers. That makes me think Texans when you say stable of pass catchers. But they all got hurt, right? Nico, who exploded onto the scene and then got hurt. Tank Dell exploded onto the scene. He got hurt. And we don't know if Tank's coming back, honestly. You know what I'm saying? Like, because 2 years away from the game, man, that's a lot to overcome. Oh, okay, the Jags. Okay, so Trevor Lawrence and the Jags. Let me think about it. Stable of pass catchers. Okay, so he's got Brian Thomas Jr., but he was injured for like half of last year when Mac Jones and Brian Thomas Jr. really got to cooking. But before that, he had Evan Ingram, Christian Kirk, Gabe Davis. I don't know if I want to say a stable full of pass catchers, bro, now that we're talking about them. Evan Ingram, Christian Kirk, and Gabe Davis. They drafted Brian Thomas Jr., but they didn't really get going. And then he got hurt. Mac Jones got in, and Brian Thomas Jr. teed up. Or if you're talking about right now. Okay, so right now he's got Brian Thomas Jr. He's got Travis Hunter. Hey, Travis Hunter went and got that thing now on Sunday. Travis Hunter went up top and got one, man. He went to the 5th floor on somebody. He went and got one. And they still got to really integrate him into that offense. It's just a lot of quick hitters just putting the ball in his hand and hoping he makes a guy miss and, and finds a way to maybe break loose. But so that's why when I saw that deep pass over the middle, and Trevor didn't do him any favors, man, when he threw it up there as high as he did. But Travis Hunter went up there and went and got it. He took a shot, came down with the ball as well. But yeah, Brian Thomas Jr. and Travis Hunter, okay. The backs, yeah, Travis Etienne is having a bounce back season. I wasn't an Etienne fan, a big fan of him coming out of Clemson. I had him behind Javonte Williams and Najee Harris in that draft. I didn't really love him coming out of Clemson. And then honestly, like this far in the league, I thought Tank Bigsby was going to take that job from him. They ended up trading Tank Bigsby away in the offseason, and I think you had to move him out the way so that he didn't steal Travis Etienne's job. So they moved Tank Bigsby because Travis Etienne, he's got that first-round draft capital. And then, honestly, to his credit, he's playing damn well right now. I think Travis Etienne is the top 5 rusher in the league right now. Yeah, he's the top 5 rusher in the league. Now, that Jags defense, well, Trayvon Walker, Now, whether or not he should have been picked number one over Aiden Hutchinson, that's a conversation. But he has turned into a pretty solid player now these last 2 seasons. I want to say last year he had 10 sacks. I want to say this year I think he's got 2 sacks. It's still early, but he's turning into a more than solid player for sure though. Hey man, hey, I can't keep up, man. I'm trying to, I'm trying to read the comments and give response. You know what I'm saying? Hey, look who's here. Well, howdy. We glad you make it. Sis in the building. Said what's going on to her good peoples. Oh, okay, yeah, you got him for me. There we go. I was trying to think of, Zay Jones. Yeah. Hey, hold on, man. Now, hold on, Bowser. You not gonna slide in Zay Jones came off a big year. Hey, man. No, man. That's an exaggeration, dog. Hey, man. I don't know about Zay Jones coming off a big year, dog. Oh, yeah. The other Josh Allen, Trayvon Walker. Yeah, Calais Campbell with the Cardinals this year. Yeah, he went to the Cardinals. But he balling with the Cardinals now. He balling with the Cardinals. Calais Campbell, boy, the fountain of youth or something. He older than me, boy. 39. And he balled. He had himself a day. Was that against was that the Niners game? Or either the Niners game or the Seahawks game. I want to say Calais Campbell was a monster. See, Zach said they have no idea what they want to do with Hunter. They just saw a shiny toy in the draft. But yeah, at a loss of how to use them effectively, it's been weird to watch. And see, that's what I'm saying, man. Like when they drafted him, and you got to remember, it was premeditated. Like they made the move to go get him. Like the deal that they struck with Cleveland, they had to be talking about that for weeks. You know what I'm saying? So like they knew that they were going to get him, right? We knew Tennessee was going Cam Ward off rip, and so now they worked out this deal, right? It had to be a few weeks in the works, so you know you're gonna get them. And I feel the same way. Like, bro, why isn't there like a more defined like role or like a more defined plan for his integration? Because they drafted him and then they stood on it like, nah, he's gonna play both ways here. Boom, 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 boom. All this talk, right? And then week 1 he has 6 defensive snaps. That's wasting time. And then I think, so like they slowly, worked him up. I think week 2 he played like 40 defensive snaps. And then only a handful of offensive, like 12 offensive snaps. And then I think these last 2 weeks it's been like more balanced. But yeah, man, but just like you said, like it still feels like, just like you said, like they just, I would have thought that they had a better idea of how they were gonna get maximize what he does than they have. So I'm in agreement with you there for sure. Hey, cousin, what's going on? Hey, it's Big Nation business in the building. Yeah. Oh, it's Victory Wednesday for us. We went to Ireland. We made it a lot tougher than we had to, cousin. We made it a lot tougher than we had to. I can't believe that game was 21-6 midway through the third quarter, and then it feels like we look up and it's a 3-point ball game. I'm like, wait, what is going on? What is going on? But yeah, we found a way to get it done. We found a way to get it done for sure. For sure, man. I didn't look. We've been talking so much. I just skipped over some of these games. We're gonna move through. Carolina gets waxed by the Panthers, 42-13. I'm ready to pull the plug on Bryce Young. Just pull the plug, man. Respectfully, pull the plug, man. Just pull the plug. And Dave Canales, I know you young. Or I know you young and new there, but I'm not gonna lie. Like they waxed the Falcons. I think 30-0. They 30-balled the Falcons, 30-0, and then the next week you come out here and get spanked like this against the Drake May Patriots. And I love me some Mike Vrabel, I do, but nah, that's an ugly loss. See, Chargers go on the road, lose to the Giants. Okay, yeah, I was talking about this a little bit earlier with my dog Zach, man. I can't believe the Chargers dropped this one, but Dart, man, you gotta give him credit. Now the caption, maybe I'm overselling it. Shines in the upset. Yeah, it's subjective, but more so with his legs than anything. But I don't know how sustainable that's gonna be. And then of course, he's a rookie. His first game, nobody's got any film on him. You know what I'm saying? That Ole Miss film isn't worth a quarter. That the offense that they run in Ole Miss is one of those hardcore college offenses. There's no pro there's no pro concepts to pull from or to get an idea of how he would handle certain concepts and situations. You don't get to pull none of that from that old Miss film, for one. And then, of course, like he's the so I think that had something to play into it. But the Chargers, as talented as they appear to be, the way they've been rolling and playing, there's no reason they should drop that game though. So I can't give them no credit there, or I can't give them any excuses there. But no, shout out to Jackson Dart, man. Came in, he's got some swag about him. You know what I mean? He's got some confidence. He's got he's got some of that going. And then him and a young Cam Scatterboo as well, two rookies. Both of them, they both fiery, man. They both play with a lot of emotion. Both of them run the ball physically. Now that's what I'm saying with Jackson Dart as well, man. I don't know how long that's gonna hold up realistically. And honestly, I'm very curious to see what his next two games look like. Now that he's put a little tape out, right? And so now people will start to actually prepare for him. And so yeah, I am curious to see what he looks like these next 2 weeks, particular. You know what I mean? Just to see what shakes there. But he did have some success in preseason, for what that's worth. For what that's worth. Cause hey, you ain't feeling A-Rod? I'm not gonna lie, it's been a little up and down, but the offensive line is not making it easy for him. I can't boo him though. He finally got DK the ball when DK got a little running room and took off for a big game for a touchdown. He threw 4 touchdowns against the Jets week 1. We needed all 4 of them because we forgot how to play defense for the first 2 weeks of the year. 2 or 3 weeks of the year, we still just barely trying to remember now. I can't boo him now. We need him. We need him. This is a rematch of the Carolina Legends this week with Sam Darnold and Baker Mayfield. Man, that's crazy. They both did. Man, that is crazy. They both passed through Carolina, and now both of them on the other side making $30, $35 million and leading teams that are successful. Sam Darnold, 14 games, won 14 games with the Vikings before it all came crumbling down, but still played more than well enough to get himself paid. He's with the Seahawks now. I think the Seahawks are 3-1. Sam Darnold has made a real second home in Tampa Bay. He's a $30 million man, $35 million man as well. He's been to the playoffs. You know what I mean? I think they beat the Eagles in the playoffs. I think his first year starting there. Now that was the year after the Super Bowl when the Eagles lost both coordinators. But hey, it is what it is. It happened. And so, yeah, and both those guys. And meanwhile, Carolina's sitting there with a 5'8" quarterback named Bryce Young, who just don't look like he got the goods, man. Not enough to, I don't know. I can't put my eggs in that basket, respectfully. Speaking of Big Baker Mayfield, Philadelphia on the road at Tampa Bay. And honestly, Philadelphia, I thought this one, I think I picked Tampa Bay to win this game because Tampa Bay generally, or at least over these last 2 years or so, they've matched up pretty favorably against the Eagles. And I think I believe like Tampa Bay is like 3-1 against the Eagles in the last 4 matchups, or maybe they were even 4-1 against the Eagles in their last 4 or 5 matchups before this last game, and it was at home. And so I drank a little bit of Kool-Aid. Y'all know how I feel about Big Baker Mayfield anyway. I was pulling for my dog. But I think Philly and this one, man, were pretty clearly the better team today. Baker did have an ugly interception, man, in the red zone. I think getting too aggressive. He's booting out right. He's trying to throw a pass at in the right end zone. And the pass does get tipped before it gets intercepted. But honestly, even watching the pass, when he let that pass go, I thought it was going to be an interception anyway. Regardless of it getting tipped, I think that pass was a dead pass either way it went. And so that was just not a great decision. But I love me some Baker Mayfield, man. They do stick around and make it closer, keep it respectable. But they do lose that game 31-25, and the Eagles keep rolling. Now here's what pissed me off again in this one. Well, no, I ain't gonna talk about it. I ain't gonna talk about it. I'm behind schedule. We're gonna keep it pushing. Tennessee on the road at Houston. Houston spanks them 26-0. Houston needed this, man. We've kind of talked about Houston, and especially more particularly CJ Stroud, but Houston definitely needed this win. And they needed this style of win. They needed a clear, dominant, just like something that they can try to build confidence or momentum. Now, mind you, it's a very soft target in Tennessee, but like I think worse than like it could have been. I'm not to say a win's ever a bad thing, but imagine if they win this game 14-13 in a nail biter against the Titans. You know what I mean? Especially with the way this season's unfolded and in the outlook going forward. Like, nah, this is a game that good teams beat the teams they're supposed to, right? And not only that, but this game, the outcome of this game, it's not enough to just win, but you should win the way that you are supposed to win. You're the way more talented team, the way more established team on both sides of the ball, so you should win this game in this fashion, and they did. So that's a big one for the Texans. I think they needed that for their own confidence, man. They got to get some good mojo going. What my dog Zach say? He said, "Well, you need a wide receiver." Man, hey, I'm trying to tell you, boy. I'm trying to tell you. Ain't no way they're gonna let us get 8. Nah, ain't no way that. Nah, Philly ain't letting nobody go. They wasting AJ Brown. They wasted AJ Brown, man. I've been on my soapbox about AJ Brown. Matter of fact, man, you know what? I'm getting a little thirsty anyway. You know what? This one's for you, AJ Brown, man. Shout out to your damn All-Pro hopes and dreams, because they just refuse to throw you the damn ball for whatever reason. It pisses me off. Man, we're 4 weeks into the season. I think for all 4 weeks, I've been complaining about the Eagles and them refusing to get AJ Brown the ball. And this is where it pissed me off at, because that week 2 game, right? AJ Brown, or no, even right out the gate, the Cowboys game, week 1 against the Cowboys, as fiery as that rivalry is, Jalen Carter gets thrown out, play 1 for spitting on Dak. AJ Brown got 1 target in that game. He got his only target midway through the 4th quarter. It was a 9-yard catch. 1 catch on 1 target for 9 yards, how he finished that game. Right? And then in the game against the Rams, they're getting smoked. First half of that game, Saquon's bottled up. I think Saquon only had 40 yards that whole game. They can't do nothing. They come out in the second half, and mind you, AJ Brown didn't get any targets in the first half, but now we can't run the ball. So what do we do? Oh, shoot. We got AJ Brown out there. Let's throw AJ Brown the ball and see what happens. In 1 half of football, 6 for $120 and a touchdown. And these were 6 grown man plays. And that's the thing about AJ Brown, man. Maybe that's why I appreciate his game so much, is because, bruh, they don't, like, I hate what Nick Sirianni and that offense is doing. Like, they don't do AJ Brown no favors, dog. AJ Brown got to line up on the line, and he got to get his up the field. Big boy ball, man. He don't get them soft touches that CD Lamb get. He don't get them soft touches that Justin Jefferson get. Y'all know I love me Justin Jefferson, right? He deserves all them touches. I'm not knocking CD, Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase, Tyreek Hill, right? When he's healthy and kicking, right? Like they don't incorporate or just engineer those style of touches to just make sure his hands are on the ball and that he's just a part of the flow of the game. AJ Brown don't get none of that, dog. He's on the line. He's at X. When I tell y'all he's on the line, he's at X. He's not moving. He goes out to the boundary, puts his foot on the line and lines up and dares somebody to get in his chest. You know what I mean? And then he's up the field. You know what I mean? Like, bro, like they put so much on him. But the thing about it is, and this is why I like AJ Brown so much, is that, bro, hey, he said, you see these shoulders? I can handle that. I can give you 6 for $120 in a touchdown in a quarter and a half. Because he didn't get no targets in the first half. And they was midway through the 3rd quarter before AJ Brown got his first target. That's inexcusable, dog. What are we doing? What are we doing? I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. Man, you the Stars Eagles fan. I'm telling you, it pisses me off, boy. I'm telling you. But Zach, like you said, boy, I'm telling you what, man, they can have a blank check. Tell Howie to call me, matter of fact, man. I'll work it out. Hey, matter of fact, tell Howie to call me. We'll work something out, man. We'll work something out. I tell you, it's not too much I wouldn't give to get AJ Brown in black and gold. Boy, you crazy as hell. Yeah, go ahead and reunite AJ Brown and DK, man. Ole Miss days. Bring them back home, man. Yeah, I'm gonna have to call Howie. We got to bring AJ home. Yeah, man, I can't stand it. Hey, man, my dog Skinny in the building, man. What's going on, big dog? What's up, man? Hey, man, for sure, bro. And it's no excuse. It's no excuse. I don't care about none of that. Don't tell me in a 60-minute ball game that we can go 40 minutes without giving the man one target? I'm talking about a target, bro. Target. A.J. Brown has played, there's only been 4 games this season. In 4 games, A.J. Brown has went 2 halves without a target. How? How do we explain that? How can that happen? And how can it happen a year after all the drama and everything that surrounded his targets last year? Had that man stressed out reading books on the sideline, trying not to go back into depression? Like, what are we doing, man? And I'm not putting that on A.J. Brown because he's right. He's right. That's inexcusable. Hell no. And so they already dealt with all that last year, right? Excuse me. They get through it. They go on. They win a Super Bowl. Cool. Awesome. How do we start 2025 with the same issues though? That's baffling, bro. That's crazy. And that's the thing, Skinny. That's the thing. But they win in games though. And so that's always like, we're never going to sacrifice, like, nothing's ever going to be bigger than winning games. But at the same time, you got to feed your dogs, man. You got to feed your dogs. You know what I'm saying? You got to feed your dogs. And the example that I was making, like, I'm telling you, I've talked about this topic every week. We 4 weeks into the season. I've been talking about this for 4 weeks. Bro, let me see. What's it? Saquon and Shaq, right? Saquon and Shaq on this team. This is the Kobe Shaq Lakers. Saquon and Shaq. That's cool. But A.J. Brown is Kobe. Like, I don't give a damn that Shaq is averaging 35 and 20. We still need Kobe to get 25. Kobe still needs his touches too. We're not going to sacrifice Kobe's touches. You know what I mean? Like, it can't be Shaq with 35 and then damn Derek Fisher and Rick Fox got 12 and 16 and Kobe finished the game with 4 points. Like, no, that's inexcusable. No. You know what I mean? Like, we can't, like, nah, man. It really bothers me, dog. It really bothers me. It really bothers me, bro. A.J. Brown is, yeah, man. A.J. Brown one of them ones. Y'all would do your research, man. That's a walking 1,500 yards. And the thing about it as well, he gets in the paint. And the thing about it as well, he gets in the paint. And we can't understate that. Because as dominant as Julio was, Julio didn't touch paint, man. Julio didn't touch paint. Julio wasn't more valuable in the red zone than Antonio Brown. And Antonio Brown was 6 inches shorter and 40 pounds lighter. But you know who scored me in the press? I tell you right now, Antonio Brown's had years where he doubled Julio Jones' touchdowns. A.J. Brown gets in the paint, bro. That is a walking 15 and 15. 1,515 touchdowns. Ain't no reason in the world we can't give him the ball. Hell no. Ain't no reason in the world he can't get no targets, bro. I'm not even asking for a lot. I'm not even asking for 100 yards a game that he can give you with opportunity. Just targets. The man shouldn't have to wait 35 minutes into a 60-minute ball game before he gets his first target. It's inexcusable, bro. Hell no. Moving on. Indianapolis on the road against the Rams. Rams pulled this one off 27-20. Now, here's the thing about this, dog. And this would be pissing me off as well. A.D. Mitchell. Yo, silly, stupid. Man, boy, look, they almost got me talking out of character, man. They almost got me talking out of character. I ain't going to call you out your name. I'm going to call you out your name a little bit. Bring your silly ass to the front, man. A.D. Mitchell, bring your silly ass to the front. Boy, you ain't did enough to do what you did. Like, you ain't did enough. You just got, bro, last year you couldn't crack the field over Alec Pierce. Now, Micah Pittman's going to be Micah Pittman. But, man, they gave your touches to Alec Pierce and Josh Downs. Now, I like Josh Downs. I do. He's a solid guy. You know what I mean? But, yeah, you couldn't crack any touches because of those guys. You get here this year. You got Danny Dimes. Y'all rolling. You on the road. You in the rails. You make a big play, a deep catch. You break a tackle. And your silly, stupid ass give the ball away going into the end zone. What was you even trying to do, bro? What was you trying to do? And, honestly, that's the difference in this game. It's a 7-point loss, and you took a touchdown off the board trying to be cute. Man, come on, man. I hate that stuff, bro. That's the type of stuff I hate. I'm telling you, bro. I hate that. Now, Deshaun Jackson did it after like 2 Pro Bowls. Like, it happens. AD Mitchell, bro, is this your first highlight? This your first highlight, and now it don't even count because now it's a low light. You had one highlight to your name, and before we could cement it, you turned it into probably the most embarrassing play of your NFL career this far. Man, come on, man. And like I said, that was the difference in this game. Now, another thing as well, man, Puka Nacua is balling, bro. Puka is balling, bro. Puka's balling. Shout out to him. And Devontae's still coming along, man. Devontae's been a pretty reliable end zone threat for sure. Now, his catches and yardage isn't necessarily there, but he's been damn reliable in the end zone. And so I think Devontae got 4 touchdowns? I want to say Devontae's got 4 touchdowns or thereabouts. And so, and I think there's still meat on that bone as well. You know what I mean? The longer we get into this season and Stafford and Devontae continue to like acclimate as well. So I think that's only going to improve. But no, AD Mitchell, that's inexcusable, bro. That's why I preferred Keon Coleman to you when y'all was coming to the draft. I didn't like your effort on tape. And little shit like that. Hell no, man. That's inexcusable. My dog Zach said he also got that 55-yard Johnny Taylor. 2 touchdowns. That's 2 AD Mitchell. Does he got 2 touchdowns in his career? Because he's took 2 touchdowns off the board this year. That's crazy, man. That's crazy. Let me catch up on this chat. My dog Zach said Danny still looked good. The picks were deep throws. Yeah, now one of them he just didn't have an arm. That one he threw up the right. Yeah, up the right sideline. I think, was that to AD Mitchell? I think that was to AD Mitchell that got picked off by Cam Curl. Yeah, that's at the right sideline. Yeah. So he went deep up the sideline, and he didn't have an arm for it. That pass was 10 yards short. Literally, that pass was 10 yards short. And shout out to Cam Curl. And matter of fact, Bowser, if you're still in here, I don't know why Washington never let Cam Curl go. I liked him in Washington. But yeah, he just didn't have an arm on that. Now I'm not going to excuse it though, because like I said, that's still a flat pick. But yeah, the fumble, yeah, that's bro. Exactly, bro. Like there's highlights or lowlights of numerous players doing this at all levels of football, and it never fails, bro. But every year there's some new fool that keeps it going, bro. You ain't lying. Every year there's somebody new that finds a way to keep that going. That's crazy. That's crazy. Jacksonville on the road against San Francisco. They get this dub 26-21. Jacksonville, both these teams are 3-1. And honestly, like I had to remind myself that, they both pretty solid, but I don't feel great about either one. And so San Francisco, Brock Purdy did come in to make a spot starter too, but I think, not Brock Purdy. Mac Jones made a spot starter too, but Brock Purdy there. Ricky Pearsall, I like Ricky Pearsall coming out of Florida, but now he's coming into his own, man. I think slowly but surely he's gonna be a guy. He looks like he's got the goods to me, man. I liked him a lot coming to Florida. I liked him better than Ladd McConkey coming out of Georgia. I definitely have Ricky Pearsall over Ladd McConkey, but I like him. C-Mac, like I said, working himself back into his old form as well. They do have some injuries. Nick Bosa, I think, is out for the season. I think Kittle's already been banged up to this point in the season as well. So I'm not sure how that division plays out. I think when it's all said and done, I think the division is going to come down to the Rams and the Seahawks, just the way it looks. If I had to put my money on it, I would probably take Chops Rams to win that division. But no, both these teams so far at this point in the season are competitive, and they've set themselves up well to make a push into the second half of the season. Oh man, how we get this far? I feel like we've talked so much about some of these games while we're just talking that by the time we get to them, we already did it a little bit. But be that as it may, Baltimore on the road to Kansas City. I thought this was going to be a heavyweight matchup, dog. I was comparing this to Ali Frazier 3. You know what I mean? This is an oldie but goodie. Two heavyweight rivalries. Going to be an exciting slugfest. And Kansas City went out there and spanked them. And Kansas City just went out there and took it to them, man. There's a lot going on with this Ravens team, bro. Derrick Henry and the fumbles. Their defense is looking like one of the worst units in the league. And this is on the defense that's got, for my money, if you asked me to start this season or at the end of last season, Kyle Hamilton was the best safety in football in my mind. So you got the best safety in football. Marlon Humphrey had a resurgent year last year. Had his best year, and I think easily his best year in like the last 3 years or so. You know what I mean? You draft Nate Wiggins out of Clemson. I like that draft pick. They draft Malachi Starks out of Georgia. I like that draft pick. You know what I mean? Like, I like the Mike Green draft pick, especially where you got him. He has his college issues, you know what I'm saying, and all of that. But when you get him in the bottom of the second, I'll take it all day long. You know what I mean? But shit, he ain't been nothing but room furniture. You know what I mean? So he's not making an impact. I think Matabuke just got put on IR. He ain't did nothing no way either. So I mean, Roquan Smith, I think he's banged up. He ain't did nothing no way either. And so there's a lot of problems with that team as a whole. And then on the other side of it, and it's hard to complain about Lamar in that offense when, for the most part, outside of this Chiefs game, what you put up 34 points on the road in Buffalo. I mean, yeah, or 38 points on the road in Buffalo, and like, yeah, Derrick Henry fumbled, but why is it a game? Why are we giving up 24 points in the fourth quarter to anybody? Like, that's inexcusable. There is some critique and some things to complain about offensively, and we're not excusing Derrick Henry's fumbles, but keep in mind, man, I don't give a damn if you fumble. We scored 38 points. It shouldn't be a game. We're up 20 points in the fourth quarter. The fumble shouldn't matter. Or it shouldn't have been to the detriment of the win. Like, why? So there's a lot of stuff going on in that one, and then also there was some little controversy, man, in this one about Lamar Jackson. So the rhetoric was, or the feelings around, I don't know if it's just Lamar Jackson hate or whatnot, but when I seen him as well, the way he was sitting looking on the bench, I think the commentary made a point to mention that, like, hey, man, he came out for injury, but I don't see any trainers around him. They ain't took him to the blue tent. Nobody's popping up the blue tent. It just looked like he had enough and went and sat down. And I piled on. I ain't gonna lie to you. It's the Ravens. It's the Dirty Bird. Them funky ass Ravens. I piled on. Like, man, it looked like he walked off and quit. Looked like he took his ball and went home. He said, man, I'm sick of this. I'm the only one out here. I'm tired. I'm beat up. I'm done. He went and sat down. Now, come to find out that they are saying that it is a legitimate hamstring injury. I think the initial talks were that he was going to expect to miss 2 to 3 weeks. Now, I saw since then that I think Shefty came out and said that was overblown and that instead it's more like a week-to-week type of thing and that he's going to try to play this Sunday against Houston. So now, I won't lie. Now it feels like the hamstring story that leaked, maybe it was a cover because he did just have enough, man, and he had to go sit down. He just couldn't take it. Because now it went from 2 to 3 weeks to it wasn't that bad. It's week to week. He's probably going to play Sunday. So it's like, okay, well, now maybe that story was to cover the fact that he walked off because he was too disappointed in him and his team's performance. I don't know, but we'll see. What my dog Zach said about San Francisco. San Francisco starting janitors and trainers tomorrow against the Rams. Hey, that's hilarious. And this is the thing about the Niners, dog. How often have they not been decimated by injury? Like, I think they've had like a 7-year kind of run. Now, it feels like last year, like 2 years ago was the last of their real run or window that they had. You know what I mean? It feels like 2 years ago, that Super Bowl loss was probably the last that probably shut that door. Because after that, they had to gut a lot of that roster as far as depth, especially on the defense. Guys like Talanoa, who found you, and Dre Greenlaw, and an assortment of others, right? Some of these names start moving around. We got to pay Brock Purdy now. Brock Purdy earned that money, though. So y'all know how I rock, man. I'm not with the Brock Purdy slander. Shout out to Brock Purdy. I know what he is and what he ain't, but I'm not going to discount him for what he's done, man. So he earned that money. $55 million as Mr. Irrelevant. You damn right. Especially if Tua and Trevor Lawrence getting 55, you damn right I want Brock Purdy to get 55. But that's neither here nor there. But yeah, man, but no, just like you said, they've been injured more than not, man, over the course of their whole little run. And I know if you're a Niners fans for sure, especially, like, man, you'll look back on some of those teams and you'll think about it like, man, damn, what could have been? So close multiple times. And that was a team that couldn't get over the hump, that had the makings of a potential little dynasty. You know what I mean? So, yeah, it's just crazy how those things shake out, man. Crazy how those things shake out. Chicago on the road against the Raiders. Chicago eats this one out 25-24. But the story in this one, man, Ashton Genty, welcome to the league. Welcome. They've been on you so tough in the media. I've been on you a little bit, but not to the extent that like Ryan Clark was ready to call you a bust. Ryan Clark started comparing you to Trent Richardson. That's crazy, dog. Come on, man. 3 games in that Raiders offensive line is trash. But this week against the Bears, he goes back to his old stance, standing straight up in the backfield like he did in college. And if you mean to tell me that the difference between Ashton Jeanty running for 150 yards and scoring 2 touchdowns, if you mean to tell me that 4 games into the season, he was waiting to be able to just stand up comfortable before he takes a handoff so he can get back to the guy he was that was running up to the Heisman, then Chip Kelly need his ass beat and then fired. So you got to beat his ass before you fire him. Because if you fire him first, then he leaves, he might leave the building or exit the premises too soon before you can whoop his ass. So what you got to do, you got to whoop his ass first, then fire him. Because he's the guy that told Ashton Jeanty from the jump, nah, man, I don't want to see that. I don't want to see that. You better hunch over, bent knees. He told us this is a bent knee sport. And he ain't lied. He ain't lied. Low man wins in this game all day long. But still, it was so bad that Ryan Clark, after three weeks, started invoking Trent Richardson and bust, that finally in week 4, the boy had enough. He stood up in the backfield and then gave you 150 yards and 2 touchdowns. So come on, man. But they do still lose this game. But I want to see Jeanty continue to continue that momentum at least, man, for sure. I am happy to see him find success. And also, man, shout out to my nephew Zayman, man. That's my nephew Zayman's favorite player. You know what I mean? So I do want to see Jeanty do well, man. So my nephew has somebody to cheer for. Then, last but not least, man, last week's game of the week, man. Green Bay on the road at Dallas. Micah's revenge game spoiled. This game ends in a 40-40 tie. Now, this is what pisses me off about this is like, why NFL? Why are we having ties? Like, why are we having ties, dog? I don't want to hear it, and I don't want to hear player safety. I'm for player safety. I am. I don't want to hear the league use player safety as an excuse because you told y'all don't give a shit about player safety. We got 17 games now, and y'all can't wait to make it 18. So I don't want to hear about we worry about the safety of the players. Hell no. I don't want to hear it. The Vikings have been in Europe for 2 weeks straight. I don't want to hear about player safety. What kind of recovery are they getting in Europe? Europe that is not a country that football is imbued in. So I don't know, like what type of like football related recovery do the players have access to that've been over there for 2 straight weeks? So I don't want to hear about player safety, dog. I don't want to hear about it, man. We don't need ties. We don't need the college overtime because I don't like that either. But we don't need ties at all. We don't need ties at all. Hey, he said, Neff listening? Oh, yeah, man, he should be listening. Yeah, I appreciate you. For sure, yeah, man. It's about time, but I was getting nervous about your boy Jeanty now. I ain't gonna lie. It was looking ugly, man. It was looking ugly. But, yeah, I'm telling you, the boy stood up, and then all of a sudden, presto bongo, 150 yards and 2 touchdowns. As I said, Chip Kelly needed his ass beat and then fired. Because if you mean to tell me the only thing separating us for $150 and 2 tubs or whether or not you let him stand up in the backfield, you need your ass beat, Chip Kelly. Chip Kelly got an ass beat coming to him anyway, off the muscle for everything going on with him. But I'll leave that alone. That ain't my fight. But no ties, man. That's ridiculous. This is ridiculous. As a matter of fact, in overtime, now that I'm thinking about it, like, why is it timed? Like, why is overtime timed? Now that I'm thinking about it. I mean, well, for the sake of being able to have ties, okay, time it. But that's an old rule or whatever. Before the goal was for every team to score 40 points. Yeah, that makes sense. You know what I mean? In Lombardi's day, or even before, in Jim Brown, those 50 Browns days. You know what I'm saying? When games were 13-9 in a shootout. You know what I mean? Yeah, maybe ties then because there's not a lot of points in this game. You know what I mean? Some points aren't guaranteed. But in today's game, where the rules are slanted in a way that incentivizes teams to be able to, that makes it as easy as possible for you to score 40 points. That's the league that's today. So in today's league, we don't need ties, man. Overtime should be an untimed, there should be time keeping for the sake of stop clock, delay of games, etc., etc., etc. I'm not saying that, but both all right, and we already changed the rules. Both teams get the ball, right? So it's no longer just instant sudden death, but just go 1-for-1 until somebody doesn't show up, man. It just plays out. We just keep playing regular football until we got a winner. So after I think Green Bay, whichever one kicked it, I think Green Bay kicked the field goal to actually end the game in a tie. It doesn't matter. Whomever kicked the ball to end the game in a tie, just kick it back off. Like, what are we doing? We already here. Kick it back off, man. Kick it back off. Next score wins. Both teams had the ball. Both teams kicked field goals. All right. Next score wins. Period. Like, I don't know, man. We don't need any ties in professional football. That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. And and thankfully, man, I ain't gonna lie. That's it. That's the last game. Now, we did get a little late. Dang, I got so caught up talking. I ain't even get to go over my power ranking. I'm going to post it real quick. I'll probably revisit this or go back into it on Sunday. So make sure y'all tap in with your dog on Sunday, man. Sunday morning, 10 o'clock. Sunday Funday morning football pregame show. Y'all know what's going on, man. Tap in with your dog, and we'll preview this week's upcoming games. But before I get out of here, man, I do want to post this. This is my first NFL power ranking. Now that we are a quarter of the season in, I think I've been talking to some of y'all about doing something like this, but I wanted to get to this point in the season to give myself like a solid foundation before just putting together a list. So this is what I came up with. We've got Eagles 1, Bills 2, Lions 3, Rams 4, Chargers 5, Chiefs 6, Colts 7, Packers 8, Bucks 9, and I gave my Steelers that 10 spot. Say what you want to. You can call it home cooking. I don't give a damn. It is home cooking when I'm in my kitchen. So Steelers is 10, damn it. All right. I got the Steelers at 10 over the funky-ass Jaguars and Trevor Lawrence. I got the Steelers at 10 over the funky-ass Seahawks, even though we gave one away. I got the Steelers at 10 over the funky-ass 49ers and all those injuries. All right. I can hear some of y'all now. I don't care. Put your own list out. You don't like my list, you make your list. This is my list. It says RBT's NFL Power Rankings. That's how I'm rocking. Eagles, Bills, Lions, Rams, Chargers. I think that 5 is a pretty solid 5. And honestly, Chargers were I think Chargers arguably could have been 3 before they dropped that loss to the Giants. I think they could have been as high as 3. But they did drop that game to the Giants. And so I dropped them down to 5. Rams at 4. I think they had a tough loss to the Eagles in the second half. Went out there, put it on the Eagles, man, for a whole half of football. Saquon held to less than 50 yards for that whole game. And then second half, they were Eagles. Remember, they got A.J. Brown, one of the best in the business, out there on the outside, and y'all couldn't do nothing with him. And so kudos to the Rams for that. And then also in this Colts game, A.D. Mitchell doesn't give a touchdown away. Who knows how that game turns out as well. So the Rams at 4, I gave them that. I gave them the bump over the Chargers because of how strongly I feel about that Giants loss that the Chargers just suffered to rookie Jackson Dart. And like maybe I was too harsh on that or maybe too heavy on that, but that's where I rocked out. Chiefs at 6, man. Chiefs go from 0-2 to 2-2. Impressive, dominant win against the Ravens. Looked like they made Lamar quit. It looked like Lamar tucked tail, took his ball and went home. That's what it looked like to me. But it is what it is. Shout out to my dog, Leo Chenal, man. I've been telling y'all about Leo Chenal. Leo Chenal, one of the ones, man. I really like him on that Chiefs team. He gets an impressive interception off Lamar Jackson, man, defending Mark Andrews up that right sideline. Shout out to my dog. And then, of course, the Colts. Colts I've been very impressed with the Colts. I've really been very impressed with the Colts. They haven't played the toughest competition, but everybody is 4 games in, right? Everybody's schedule is what it is at this point. I've been very impressed. And also, like I said, they're firmly in that. I mean, they still were in that game against the Rams on the road, too, now. On the road in L.A., they're in that game. They lose by 1 score, and they gave one away. And they gave one away. So the Colts, I think, are riding pretty high right now. So shout out to them. Packers have lost a little steam. They had the tough loss on the road against Cleveland. Now, Cleveland's defense and special teams showed out. They really did. But even still, good teams still find a way to beat those guys, even with in the face of that spectacular defense. And y'all fell a little short. Now, they did block a field goal, and there was some stuff going on, but it is what it is. You lost that one. And so I dropped them. And also, the tie against the the tie against the Cowboys is well. Now it's on the road. Emotions are high. Packers without their best offensive player and CD Lamb. George Pickens out there looking like a damn superstar. Man, I miss him. I was watching that game. I still got to cheer for him, man. GP is a stud. GP's a stud, and he's a guy that he has real life superstar talent and potential, but it's got to take just the right team and right quarterback, man. Gotta bring it out of him. But if they do, man, I'm telling you, he's another one of these guys, man. That's 1,500 yards and 15 touchdowns, and he only needed about 75 catches to do it. You know what I mean? Like a lot of these guys can give you 1,500 yards on 120 catches, 170 targets. Guys like George Pickens, GP will give you 1,500 on about 75, 80 catches, bro, and give you a dozen tubs. So I mean, that's the type of talent these guys, man. So I still gotta cheer from afar, man. I wish him well. I still miss him to this day, man. I'm gonna stop talking about it. It's all good. Moving on. Number 9, I went with the Bucks. And now the Bucks, man, I think I like, y'all know how I feel about Baker Mayfield. You know what I'm saying? I'm riding with Baker, man. Big Bake, that's my dog, man. So you know how I feel about Baker Mayfield. That Eagles game, man, especially that interception I told you about in the end zone, I hated that pass. And I think at times Baker can get a little too aggressive at times, but yet and still, he's the antithesis of what we talked about before with Justin Herbert. In the big moment ain't too bright for Baker Mayfield. Baker will step up. Like, if you send Baker to the line down 1 with 2 seconds left, he's got 2 shots. He's hitting them hoes. You know what I mean? Like, Baker might miss his last 4 jump shots in regulation, but you send him to the line with the game on the line, and Baker will bring them hoes home, man. So I still like Baker Mayfield and respect what he's got going on down there. Emeka Egbuka, I was wrong about you coming in, homeboy. He is showing ass. So shout out to Micah Parsons as well, rookie from Ohio State. That's what I get, man, from going against the home team. I see you, Buckeye. I see you, big dog. But Emeka Egbuka balling. Mike Evans still out there. Mike Evans, man, you know what I'm saying? He's still holding down for the old folks. Bucky Irvin, I like him a lot as well. He really came on strong last year and made a fan out of me. And then number 10, man, I got my Steelers. I'm thinking we might finally hit our stride. A lot of new pieces, not of new faces in new places. But yeah, 3-1, leading our division, going into a bye week. Maybe we get a little healthy, tighten up some of these inconsistencies and miscommunications, man, and maybe we come out and maybe put together a little run, because our schedule is about to get real tough real fast. But that's how I've got it, man. So like I said, I know I kind of dumped this in at the end of the show. I'll probably bring this back up on Sunday, man, and we'll kind of dive into it. I'll get some of y'all thoughts as well. Mom Deuce in the building says she agree with that list. And then Aimreen says she hand pink waving. I don't know what that means, Rainey. I don't know, but I appreciate y'all as always. Now, before we get out of here, of course, it is time for that real member roll call. So let's go right out the door. Mondoose was the first one in the building. I appreciate you. Shout out to the favorite co-worker in the building. My dog, Zach Becker, man, what's up? Sis is in the building as well. I appreciate you as always. My dog, Skinny, was in the building, man. Hey, shout out to real deal STL Sportsman in the building, man. Check in with my dog, man. I appreciate your homeboy. Appreciate you for sure. Let me see who else is in this thing. Kid Folk was in the building. Cousin Sharnetta, what's going on, Stiller? Big Nation Business. We in the building. What's going on? My dog Kelvo was in the building for sure. I appreciate your homeboy. Man, my dog Keandre Capmanship in the building as always. Man, I appreciate your homeboy. My dog Trav pulled up in the building as well. Man, appreciate your homeboy. Long time. Let me see who else is in this thing, man. I'm looking for you. Oh, man. Hey, hold on, man. My dog Hoppy. Come on, Hop. What's going on, man? What's going on? I appreciate your homeboy. Man, who was in the building? Big Chef was in the building as well. I appreciate your homeboy. Man, I'd be remiss if I didn't shout out my dog, Terrible Time Walker, holding it down for them Houston Texans and reminding y'all, letting y'all know that the Texans are still going to the Super Bowl, damn it. He said he don't give a care about what nothing else going on. Them Texans is going to the Super Bowl. Shout out to my dog, William White, one more time. And for the rest of y'all, I'm looking. Damn. We say the same thing every week. So feel free. Say it with me at home. If I forgot to say your name, damn. For real. My bad. But charge it to my head. And don't charge it to my heart. You know I'm thinking about you, big dog. Appreciate all the love support as always, man. Appreciate y'all getting in here and chopping it up with your dog, man. Hope y'all had a good time. I always enjoy myself, man. I need few excuses to find a reason to just get up and talk football with any and everybody that's willing to listen and talk back to me. So I appreciate y'all for that as always. Same as always, man. Sunday, 10 in the morning, tap in with your dog. Sunday, Monday, fun day. Sunday, fun day, football, morning preview, pregame show, week 5. Tapping with your dog, man. It's going to be live. We're going to have a good time. And other than that, man, y'all have fun. Y'all stay safe. Enjoy the rest of y'all evening. Peace.